All right, guys, do you want to create with me? Let's see what I can do. So I've gotten a few questions about how I've been creating these pages. They have a lot of depth, in my opinion, to them. So I thought I would show you. Plus, they're just fun to create. So I went ahead and cut out some different shapes that I thought I would be using today. And I will go to the next page in my book. Now, the book I'm using is just an old book. I glued together a couple pages here and there. I think every 2 pages I glued together just to make them more firm. So, first things first. I've been preparing my pages with a jelly plate, and I have a lot of jelly plates. Here's a brand new one I haven't opened yet, just to show you what I'm talking about. Jelly Arts, jelly printing plate. And they have a lot of things that they sell, texturizers and such. But that is not my goal today. I'm just trying to build up a background. So I've got, what is that? Multi-surface daffodil yellow and a pure orange, because I thought they kind of went with what I had going on over here. And I think this is a cardinal red. I thought it said crimson red for some reason, but cardinal red. So that's a really pretty red. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a brayer. Again, I have a lot of brayers also. This is one of my older brayers. And I'm just going to start kind of, I want to move this paint around on here. You know what I should do? I should use another brayer right now, because that's going to make the yellow mix in. But it's okay. We'll just see what we can do here. So orange here, and now I'm going to pick up the red and apparently the yellow. Not really what I wanted, but it's okay, because that's the beauty of art, right? And we can just kind of learn as we go. So I'm going to go over the whole thing. This is an old stencil, paper stencil I've just had sitting around. And that should not have moved like that. If you were watching somebody who paid more attention, you would probably wind up with a much better image. Now, like I said, I do these on the back of kind of a background for most of my art pages. I am not in any way, shape, or form one of those people who is so good with the jelly plate that, you know, you're like, oh, I want to be like that. Not at all. I just play, and I learn as I go. Generally speaking, you'll see them peel the paper off, but since this book is getting so thick, I kind of went a little backwards. Alrighty, look at there. So some of that shape came through, and I'm going to try to repeat. We'll see if I manage it. Again, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of orange, and a little bit of red. These are all multi-surface satin. A lot of times I use matte paint, but I thought it would be kind of fun to use some satin. Whoops, look at that, I'm so sloppy. Okay, so again, I'm gonna do the same thing I did before. Kind of work that paint, work that. I would like to keep them a little more separate, but I don't think I'm gonna be that good. And it's really pretty on here though, right? It looks kind of like a sunset. And work the red. Okay, so there we go. Pick up your stencil, lay your stencil down, and I'm just gonna brayer, that's a hard word to say, over the top of the stencil. Let's see what it lifted up this time. So you can see a much better stencil image here. Move that a little bit out of the way. And again, since I don't want to pick up the book, I'm just gonna work a little upside down. In this case, wouldn't it be nice to have a really big stencil, jelly plate? Yes, it would be. And I'm just gonna push. There's probably some better way to do this. You know, maybe use one of your, if you're like me, one of your 8,000 brayers that you've got sitting around to do some pressure. And I'm going to lift that off, and that transferred really nicely. You'll see there's still some paint here, and I've got some white spots here. So I'm going to just kind of dampen that out a little bit and see. Let's see. I don't know if this will stick or not. We'll find out. It did. So you can kind of fill in the page. You see, I'm going to keep doing this, and eventually it's going to stop working because it's just, my paint's a little bit too dry at this point. Anyway, I'm very happy with that. With that. All right. So this is a really good, to me, this is a really good background for my page, but I like a lot of depth. So what I do is I will grab like an old ink pad. And I have a lot of old half-dead ink pads, and I don't know, this was some yellow. And I'm just gonna kind of rub it all over the page. And you know, if you're a person who really wants to keep all that white, then you know, keep the white. Don't do this. This is just something that I really enjoy. And like I said, it's just some old ink pads that I have laying around. Here's one in pink, which is essentially dead, I think. I don't know if it's got any color left in it. Oh, there's a little bit of color. So for me, I think it just adds some depth to your page before you start really building on your page. So move these out of the way. Maybe. They're not working with me today. Okay, so my next step was going to be to pick up the stencil I just used, but it fell into the mess. There we go. And I have got bottles and bottles of just alcohol inks or paints mixed with water or whatever. I've got them all over the place. And I'm just going to kind of spray. Oh, I'm going to show you something. This is one of my favorite things to do. So this side's wet, right? Stencil that, and it kind of does this really neat, like this wet. You don't have to even use a brayer. See how it kind of lifts up on there? Let's see if I can. My hands are going to be so stained. It's okay though. Okay, so you can see what I'm trying to get at. It kind of leaves a lot of ink sitting around. You can smear it around if you want. Cool thing about alcohol ink or the spray, the mixed paints with alcohol is it absorbs so quick. So I've got that. Now, before I start adding my guys, you know what? I'm gonna wash my hands. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. My hands are clean. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start adding in some little pieces I've already cut out. And to do that, I will be using Mod Podge and really dirty paint water and a really dirty washcloth. But I'm just going to do a lot of Mod Podge on here. Also, alcohol ink kind of picks up, so I might get some orange on her. Not really sure. But we're just going to lay her down. I will tell you this. See, I picked up some orange and got on her face. It's okay, though. What I was saying was I try really hard not to skip a portion when I'm putting Mod Podge on top. And the reason for that is when it dries, if you've skipped a little piece, the rest of it's kind of got a little sheen to it, and then you'll have a dry spot. And I don't know, it's just me. It bothers me. Okay, so now I also have some cutout butterflies, which I just really liked because I thought they went really well with her. And I'm just going to kind of randomly place my butterflies across the page. Wow. They kind of really blend in, don't they? Oh, well, that's okay. It's okay. I wanted to make it blend. So that's all you're going to see me. Oh, I got a letter S on me. So I'm just going to spend some time kind of decoupaging, in essence, some butterflies here and there. Whoops! Do you ever do that? Is that just me? I kind of, sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who's this messy when it comes to art. Oh goodness, I hope not. That would be a really lonely place to be. So I'm gonna just kind of keep working through these. I should just pause this instead of making you watch it all. But that's, I kind of want her hair there, but she's like going the same direction as the other butterfly right there. So it just feels wrong. And when, I can't believe how much these are blending in with my background. Oh well. All right, and I love this blue, so I'm probably gonna be doing some blue pops on this page. We'll see, who knows? I tend to change my mind a lot. Right here, I notice she's coming up, so I'm gonna put that back down. And I've got this little butterfly's little wing is kind of cut off, so I want it on an edge. That way I can cut it off the rest of the way. Nobody will be the wiser. I also have this sweet little heart that was on the same page as the butterflies. Another heart. And these are really barely gonna show. But I think it'll be a pretty little subtle nod. I should have cut out some flowers, prepared some flowers, but I didn't. And I'm not going to. All right, so there is the basis of my page. You see I left a little butterfly, I didn't use her, so hold on just 1 second. Okay guys, so while I was away, I played with my letters that I had over here a little bit, and I put together Little Dreamer. There are websites you can type in all your letters and it'll give you some word ideas. I didn't do that this time, but I have a lot of times. So I want to think about my placement. Like, do I want her on the butterflies? I think I might just go across the base here. The letters are a little bit raised. They're not quite a cardstock, but they're going to take a good amount of glue to get them where they need to be. Also, I am really shaky. I should have paused it while I did this so that you couldn't see how really messy I am. But you probably already knew anyway. So, what I came up with, and I probably said it a couple of minutes ago, but I've paused since then so I don't remember, is Little Dreamer. With these different shaped letters, I try to have the baseline the same. Doesn't mean I always do. Doesn't mean they're not at an angle across the sheet. Doesn't mean anything like that. It just means I try. So, Little Dreamer. I just kind of like the idea, butterflies, you know, in your dreams. So going to put a good coat of Mod Podge on here. Look at, see how bad I am at this? Okay, so hopefully that will hold pretty well. I mean, Mod Podge usually always holds. So I'm gonna pause this and I'm going to dry this page. Okay guys, something bad happened. While I was drying this, and before my Mod Podge was dry, I got it walked away and the page closed. And yeah, so this is what we wound up with. I was able to peel off a little bit of the paper that had torn. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie, this stuff like this happens to me. So I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of Mod Podge. This was that little piece of paper. Not all of it, I was able to save part of it. It's not gonna match exactly. I'm sure there are people out there who could make it work perfectly. I'm not those people. So anyway, we're just gonna kind of put these in here and call it character. And here's another piece, and you can see right here, it did the same thing. I don't want you to get stuck staring at my arms while I see if I can save this page. So anyway, this happens. This happens. And it's okay, because that's kind of art. And this is, the D actually peeled off completely. So I might have another D, or I might just use, I do have another D, but I'm just going to use this one. So I'm just going to put that back, call it character, and call it good. Now you can see, whoops, Sherry, you can't call it good if you don't leave it alone. Part of the D is right here. The page kind of peeled, but it's okay. It's all right. I'm gonna make sure this isn't sticking. And then I'm gonna show you when I've had this happen, because I have had this happen a few times. You can just pick up like your little watered down paint that, if you're like me, you keep in a sprayer because, you know, maybe you keep it around because you're kind of messy. And it is going to help hide those white kind of pages that tore. So it's not as obvious, right? Tell me yes. Make me feel better about myself. I'm going to really try and glue that D down again because it really ripped up. And so that helped. It helped a little bit. It's character, right? It adds character. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right. So I got that. I did not finish drawing at all because, yeah. And I'm a little worried that maybe some of my back pages stuck, but they have not. So we're doing good. We're holding it together right now. I'm really determined to get this off, and you know what's going to happen? I'm finally going to peel it off, and I'm going to peel off a big chunk of paper, and I'm going to ruin it all. Sherry, stop. Okay. All right. So this is the start of my page. It is not done. There was a time when I would have called this page more than done. There was a time I would have just ripped the page out because of the glue mishap. But that's kind of silly. So I'm going to just use like an old sponge, and I'm going to kind of antique the edge of my pages. I'm going to show you this. And you see I tried to use a corner rounder. My corner rounder is, I bought it before we moved from California, and we moved from California 20 years ago. I'm going to pause this for just a second, okay? Okay, so I'm back. So I was talking about the corner rounder. So this is my corner rounder, and it's like at least 20 years old. Actually, I think it's more like 24 years old, if I really think about it. It's not sharp. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And it's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm really cheap, so I won't be replacing it anytime soon. Now, since I said that, I'm probably going to try to replace it. But anyway, I tried to use it on this corner, and it just didn't sit right. I couldn't get it lined up right. So it's an awkward corner there. And back to what I was saying is I'm just going to pick up some black, and I'm going to try to age around the edge of the pages. And I will come up on the paper itself. That was a weird word, right? Paper. I don't know why I said it like that. And I'm just going to kind of edge, give it some depth. You can see, actually this one's holding together pretty well. I do have this page is coming apart a little bit. I'm going to have to glue those back together. All right. So, and that's just to kind of give it, you know, I just think it gives it more depth. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to clip these wings. So go back a page and you can see there, those wings are clipped. I know a lot of people do overhangs, and I think they're beautiful and I love them, but that's not what I'm going for in this page, in this book. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back in, try to put more of that black in there. Okay. Now, I still don't feel like this page is done. That's driving me insane, but I'm going to leave it for now. I really like to add splotches. This is an old stamp, 1997 Stampin' Up! Stamp, but it's just kind of a grungy background. And you want to go straight down and straight up. See right there? I didn't go straight down and straight up. Kind of curved it. Generally speaking, straight down and straight up. Don't push too hard. If you push too hard, you're gonna kind of mush the image. And again, I moved it and I shouldn't have, but I am okay with that. Happy accident. You hear that? That's a piece of plastic, a little plastic box on the end of my table, making all that noise. All right. So we've got this lovely lady that I have not quite decided what I'm going to do with yet. I do know that one of my standard things is pink cheeks. So I'm just going to do a couple pink circles here because she does have the kind of black eyes there. So I don't even know how much it's going to work. I might have to go back in and blacken that back up. In fact, I am going to go back in and blacken that back up. I don't want it to be too black because you can actually see her eyes behind that. Okay, so hopefully that is going to work okay. Now at the beginning I had talked about how this page needed some more white, I at least thought about how this page needed some more white, and I was considering different things to do. Should I do embossing with a white? Should I do some white writing? Should I just do some basic white marks? So I think I'm just going to go with some basic white marks. And when I do this, I look for a specific color and I try to stick with it. You know, it's kind of hard because this page is so heavy in color. But I see this kind of deep red. It's kind of lonely right here. And I'm not going to hit up every section of that deep red because otherwise I think my entire page is going to be covered. Right here, it's kind of a, I don't know if you can really see it. It's like a really deep red orange. It's a good mix of the two colors. And I'm just going to find those colors and put some white in. And I just think it helps tie a page together. And do I see any more? Surely as I close this, look, I put my hand on top of that. Oh no! I hope I'm entertaining. I hope I'm at least entertaining you guys. Oh my goodness, Sherry. Okay, there we go. You can still kind of see it there, but it's okay. I'm gonna put that. Okay. I swear. You ever have days you just really, you're just like, why do I even bother? That's today. Okay, one other thing I wanted to do while I was thinking of it was I love this blue. And I think it needs a little extra blue. And I was trying to think of what kind of blue I could add to it. And I have a lot of blue. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some multi-surface blue and okay, and I'm back, and just a little old palette knife I have. Not really sure, this isn't really the same color, but I just think it'll help like give some different look to it. You know what? I've got some ultra thick paint that might work really well. Oh well, I'm just gonna go with this. And the palette knife, it just, you know, it kind of gives it its own level of texture. So, you guys, I'm going to call that good. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for creating with me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed all of my bloopers.